So in the build up to Biofabrication 2021, the annual meeting of the International Society for Biofabrication held this year in September, we're chatting with world-renowned burn surgeon, clinical professor Fiona Wood, who will be one of the plenary speakers at the conference. Thanks for joining me, Fiona.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me to pop along.
No, it's my pleasure to have you. And first of all, I just wanted to start with a bit on your background and how it incorporates, or I guess relates to, the field of biofabrication.
Well, I'm a burn surgeon, and so a plastic and reconstructive surgeon focused on burns and scarring. And the whole kind of tissue regeneration and tissue engineering space is a place that I've sort of been immersed in for decades now. And so understanding that extracellular framework to facilitate cells to be the best cells, if you like, and create new skin is very much where I'm sitting. And so the Biofab, when you start to look around and see the technology for the chemistry, the way that chemistry is, the architectural framework and how it's delivered with printing technologies, all these things are right in my space now. And it's an exciting time to be involved, actually.
Yeah, and I guess you probably mentioned it there, but I'm wondering what interests you most about the field of biofabrication.
Well, what I want to do is chase down this whole concept of tissue regeneration, scarless healing. And I mean, I started in 1985. I had a patient who had terrible scars, a young little boy, and I thought, 20 years, we'll solve this problem. I was totally naive and over enthusiastic. And still we're working at this holy grail of tissue regeneration, actually getting the cells in a framework where we can tune the phenotype, where we can tune how they express those cells developing into tissue. And the biological environment is absolutely fundamental. So that's why I'm so interested.
Great. And I'm wondering if you can give us a little bit of a preview, I guess, and speak about the gist of the latest news you'll be sharing at Biofab 2021.
Well, it's interesting because way back in 1994, 95, with Marie Stoner, the scientist I was working with at the time, we were developing technology around the skin cells, harvesting the skin cells quicker and quicker and quicker. And then how do we deliver these cells that are now in solution? And we sprayed them on with a nozzle that we did a lot of experimentation around. Now, in 2017, in a young boy, a 4-year-old boy, we were faced with a very, very extensive deep burn over half of his body down to the muscle. And that is a much more complex reconstruction than just the skin cells. This biological framework is vital. And so we put on a two-dimensional sheet construct, which is collagen and glycosaminoglycans construct. And we tailor that. And then we have to keep it in place for 3 weeks before we prepare the surface and then put our skin cells on. And I was teaching the tailoring, darting. It's sort of very complex dressmaking around this little body. And I thought, well, I've just been reading about 3D printing. I thought, wow, can't we print the bioink and the cells at the same time? So that's what I'm going to be talking about the whole journey, extending into that space, looking at tissue delivery. What is it that do we deliver? What is the bioink? How do we enhance vascularization, innovation? How do we get tissue regeneration? And then how do we get tissue integration into the surrounding tissues? So we don't have a beautiful piece of skin surrounded by a scar. And so that's the kind of thing I'll be talking about.
Fascinating. I'm looking forward to it very much. I'm wondering now, just to finish up, if you can look into the future and maybe give us a bit of a prediction where you think the field might be in, say, 5 years' time.
Oh, in 5 years' time, I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? Maybe a bit longer. I always talk about Luke Skywalker being blown away by stormtroopers, and they put him in a Bacta tank and he regenerates. I just want a Bacta tank. Yeah. And at some point, we will understand what is needed on the surface or internally in order to regenerate and how we drive that regeneration. We are self-organizing into a shape that's recognizable through life. We may get fatter, we may get thinner, but we're recognizable. Where is that three-dimensional spatial information coming from? Is it actually coming from the central nervous system? Is that the driver? And with our central nervous system being plastic and changing, how do we actually control that? And ultimately, can we think ourselves whole? That might be taking 5 years.
Brilliant. As a Star Wars fan myself, I like the sound of that. Look, thanks so much for taking the time to have a quick chat about Biofab 2021. I'm looking forward to the conference and looking forward to hearing from you, most importantly. So thanks very much, Fiona.
Well, thank you very much. I hope I'll be there in person, but if not, I'll be on screen.
Fingers crossed.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.